Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel, it's Lissa here. Today I'm going to show you guys how I make my sets. This video has been requested by a few people and yeah, I'm not an expert, but I feel like I have a couple tips and tricks that could help you guys make your own sets. I'm gonna be building Hazel's bedroom from my Series L High because bedrooms are just a very common set that we always need. But I'm also gonna show you guys more complicated sets. So yeah, let's get into it. My biggest tip to make sets is using walls. So just making separate walls out of cardboard and putting them together to film. For example, this is one of Hazel's bedroom walls. This one is a tiny bit more complicated just because it has a window, but it's still very easy. I just printed a window and then outlined the size of the window, cut out a hole in the cardboard, and it has a very nice effect. But the rest of the wall is very simple. I just took some basic white paper and glued it on in the back, so it's nice and clean. This is a wall I put some colored paper, so I don't have a color printer, sadly, but I went to a place where they print for you, copy center, I don't know. But I just took this picture on Google and I did the same thing, I just glued it in the back. So now it's a nice brick wall. But one thing I really love about my sets is all the posters. So let me just tell you real quick how I make them. This is my box of posters. So how I make them is very, very simple. Just taking a random one, this one, Chapel Road. So I did the same thing. I went to the copy center and I printed out these tiny pictures. If you have your own printer, that's even better, but I just picked these pictures on Pinterest before and then printed them out. And then I took some cardboard, like cereal box cardboard, because it's very thin and good for this kind of thing. And so I glued the picture on, and now it's a durable little picture poster that I can glue on any set with sticky tack. So yeah, it's a really simple trick that made my life much easier. So that way I have a bunch of posters to pick from when I make my sets, and it's just enjoyable, you know? It's easy and fun. This is another wall that is very useful when I make LPS videos, so it's just the school set. And same thing, just basic cardboard on the back. I glued on the same paper everyone has. And the lockers, I just did the same thing, went to the copy center, printed out some lockers I found on Google, and then I just gave them a bit more dimension. I don't know if you can see that, by like not gluing the lockers directly on the wall but on cardboard and then gluing it on the wall. I don't know, you can't really see it, but it just feels less cartoonish and more durable, I guess. The doors are also very simple. I just took some colored paper, cut out a hole with a little knife, and then glued some other kind of paper. I'm sorry, explaining this is so hard. Just put on some gray. Actually, I think this isn't gray paper. This is paper I colored gray with my markers because I didn't have gray paper. So yeah, and just glued it on the back, and now it looks like it has a window and it's just more fun. I have 4 school walls in total. This is another one that I thought, you know, the characters are probably gonna go to the bathroom, and so I need a wall with bathroom doors so the characters can actually go to the bathroom. This is another wall with a changing room door. Originally there was gonna be changing room scenes, but I just cut that out of the show, so yeah, there's just a changing room door for no reason. But it still adds some diversity in the background, so I guess that's still good. And the last school wall is this one. It's dirty because my cat walked on it with his dirty paws, so that's a shame. I just don't film the top of this one. The last type of walls I'm gonna show you are the ones from the Nest Cafe because they're a bit more complicated. This is a wall I really like because it's just really creative. For the Nescafe's walls, I painted the cardboard green because I didn't have that kind of paper. Painting your cardboard is always an option, so you know you can do this if you don't want to glue paper on. Also, this coffee menu, I use these popsicle sticks quite often, so I just thought I'd mention that because that's also a thing you can use. But yeah, for the main wall, I just painted it green, and for the text, I just wrote it out with this white pencil because it's easier to erase, and then I painted white, and same for this part. And then we have this little thing that I totally forgot the English word for. Educate me in the comments, please. I just took, as always, some cardboard, and like you can see in the back, I just hot glued it on. It's like two parts. This is glued together, the fold, and I painted it white and then green. And the hole in the wall, since it's just the front of the coffee shop, basically the glass window, I cut out a hole with this thing. This is what I use for all of my crafts. And then I took this like plastic paper and glued it in the back. So yeah, this is the side you'd never see in the set. I don't know why I even put this, the border, but I still did it because, you know. Now you can see that the door is missing because it's not actually glued on, but I have this door that is actually wood. I got it at an art shop, but you can also make your own with cardboard. You just have to be creative with it. And so I painted it, and it just goes right here when I film. I don't glue it on, I just lay it like that and it stays because it's the correct size. The best thing about walls in LPS sets is that you can use the same ones for every scene if you want to. For example, Hazel's bedroom walls I use in the classroom also, and I use it in almost every bedroom, I think. Like Victoria's bedroom, Nora's bedroom, it's all the same walls. This huge brick wall I made for the nest, I also use in Hazel's apartment. So yeah, if you watch How High again, I'm sure you can spot the same walls in different rooms, you know. But now, let's make Hazel's bedroom, because I'm gonna film afterwards. Before setting up the set, I always have to think what angle I want. In Hazel's bedroom, sometimes I put the brick wall in the back, or the wall with the window. It just changes all the time, so I have to think of the scene before, you know, deciding. I usually put the window wall in the back so I can have a shot of the door and the bed at the same time. It's kind of complicated, but hopefully you get what I mean. The thing I use a lot to put up my walls are these bookends. So I have two of these, really old bookends actually. And yeah, I just put the wall on this side. There's already tack, so I can glue it on. So I already have two of my three walls put up, but I don't have a third bookend. So what I also use is this old thing. This is where I stock all my documents and drawings and stuff from my art class. And I use it to stick it on because it also works. You know, you have to use your imagination for these sort of things because it always changes. And there we have all the walls of Hazel's bedroom. The next step is making this window look like a window. So I'm going to my messy drawer full of things and taking this one. The sky. Now that I glued the sky on the back wall, it looks like a beautiful window looking out at a beautiful sky, but it is still missing something. That's when I go to my other really messy drawer, which has this grass thing. I like putting grass between the real wall and the fake wall, because this way when I take the big full shot at the beginning of my scene, I can see grass outside, and I think that looks nice. Of course, if I take just, you know, flat on the ground, we can see the grass, and that's why we need a tree! And that's when my third messy but kinda organized drawer comes in hand. This is my drawer where I keep all of my furniture and my trees. I always use this LPS tree for the window. And this way I have a beautiful tree outside of the window and it makes it a lot more realistic. Now our empty room is only missing its furniture. I keep Hazel's bedroom furniture in this drawer because I use it a lot and so I like just having it really close to my table. Another unorganized drawer, I know. It's bad. By the way, I use Sylvan Family's furniture, Playmobil sometimes, LPS official stuff. Basically any furniture that is LPS sized I will use. But if you don't have that much furniture, you can also make some yourself. I've got a few examples of things I've made myself. Like this desk that I made out of cardboard and I painted it. And this matching stool that I made with a milk bottle cap and some fabric. This cafeteria table that I just made with some kind of cardboard paper and hot glue. And I just put a little rock on the bottom so it's got a weight. A nice chalkboard that's just cardboard painted black with the popsicle sticks on it. And finally, this beautiful bookshelf. I did not make the books because that would be insane, but I just found some on the internet. Just type miniature books or miniature anything and you'll find it. But I did make the bookshelf itself with an old jewelry box painted brown. Yeah, just to remind you that there's tons of really good tutorials on YouTube for ULPS and you can make some really cool stuff. Hazel's room is all furnished. The only thing left is adding some clutter because it's kind of empty right now. I really love cluttering my rooms. I like making up stories with it. Like for example, in the kitchen, I'll add some ingredients that were for cookies like eggs, flour, and in the living room, I'll add the actual cookies. I don't know, I just think it adds some nice details and it looks lived in. I have this kind of big cluttered box, so maybe I'll just add a little plant at the end of the bed. Maybe a shopping bag here. And then I have my really small clutter boxes. I have two. This one is more like food, drinks, and dishes. And this one is decor and clothes. So a lamp on the desk, a book by the bed, and some clothes on the floor, naturally. And now we have a nice cluttered bedroom. Thinking about your character's spaces when you make them also helps a lot. Like I know Hazel is kind of messy, but maybe another character's room would be really clean and spotless. The most important thing is always to have fun with it. So I think that's gonna be it for this video. If you have any questions or I didn't mention something you wanted to know about, you can just tell me in the comments and I'll answer all your questions. But for the most part, I really hope this video helped you understand how I make my sets and maybe you learned a thing or two. These videos are kind of hard for me to make because I'm just not used to explaining things, I guess. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and have a good day or good night. And I'll see you next time. Bye!